When I started the author show several weeks ago, my intention was to write my first novel. But why write just one book when you can inspire millions to write their own? Now, I'm on a new mission to create a production company, dare I say, a media empire, to help make literature cool once again. Such a task requires a generational visionary with balls of steel, beguiling genius, and a fair amount of cash to put his reputation on the line and speak truth to the masses, which means only one thing.
We're launching a podcast! Welcome to the new dawn of...
Yeah, last week got some upsetting news.
I just lost one of my biggest clients.
And it hurts, but you have to quickly move on. Granted, in the past, I wasn't paying for this enormous operation that doesn't have a lot of money-making potential yet, but honestly, I have never been in a better headspace than right now because I've just surrendered to the bigger purpose of this mission and I feel locked in, I feel aligned. For the time being, I've had to, put a little bit more on my credit cards than I would like, than my accountant would say is financially advisable.
In order to do these podcasts, we need mics, we need a mixer, obviously headphones. I had to hire my buddy Rio, who's an audio engineer, to come and set everything up, and so we had to pay him. And I don't feel comfortable talking about how much all that costs, but it's a lot.
You make sacrifices for that which you love. And I love what we're doing. I love getting the message out there. I love this podcast.
Hello, no one. Welcome to the Author Podcast, the first episode of the Author Podcast, where it is our job to help make literature cool once again.
It's like the perfect platform for me to speak my mind.
Dr. Seuss.
Overrated.
And Frank.
Underrated.
To share what I really care about.
James Joyce was an asshole.
And that is literature, that is reading, that is making other people see why it's so important in this day and age where mindlessness is becoming more and more the norm.
Join us in your love for literature and in helping inspire more people to actually care about it, because it is fucking important. It's fucking necessary.
And if at any point you want to turn this podcast off and pick up a book, we are doing our job.
Wait till the podcast is over and then pick up the book.
Yes.
And it gives me control over my vision, right? It creates a business engine. If we're gonna create a media empire, we need a business engine. We need to finance this thing because I'm not a billionaire yet.
Cheers.
To reading.
To reading.
For research, I did read 3 Colleen Hoover novels, and they weren't that bad. They seriously weren't that bad.
Oh my God, this is embarrassing. Pause. Literature doesn't actually influence the culture in a significant way because it's not immediate. It's not shareable, right? It's antiviral.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would love to start with interviewing some popular authors, and Tyler's been hard at work.
I was able to book an author. No one huge, but someone that actually has published some books. And I've reached out to 20, most of them didn't respond, a couple declined. This guy was down.
This Saturday, we've landed one. Tyler's been coy about it. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's because it's somebody pretty awesome. Bret Easton Ellis would be a fucking dream. I'm not expecting that.
We're gonna set up that podcast, and I think that can be a shortcut to getting us out of this rut of just me listening to Daniel rant. And that's the podcast.
I'm feeling a little loose, I'm feeling a little frisky, and I just wanted to share some knowledge to let everybody know Daddy's home.
All right, D, that's good.
And I'm taking care.
We'll cut it. We'll cut it there. That's good. That's good. So we started this project. It was Daniel's gonna write this book.
We're playing a much bigger game here.
Then it was, okay, we need to start getting something out now. We need content to build a platform.
And the game is that of a media empire.
So we moved to the poems and he stopped writing. We're gonna start writing.
Our media empire is focused on doing the real work.
And then it was, okay, this isn't working. This is costing too much money. We need to do cheaper content. Let's do the TikToks.
And so we have to be playing in multiple sandboxes at the same time.
So we start doing the TikToks. As you see, there's a pattern here.
Don't get so narrowly focused that you think that you're just in one sandbox.
We start doing the podcast, but now we're no longer doing the TikToks and we're no longer doing the poems, and he's no longer writing.
There's a bigger playground. The playground is ours. We get to move from sandbox to sandbox.
We go 75% of the way, and then he stops right before we start to get to the 100% point in which we actually build an audience.
Don't get stuck in the mud. If it rains, you can get out of the sandbox and go to the jungle gym or whatever the fuck. Do you see what I'm saying? You understand?
Sure. Daniel is so shifty and he gets so into something.
Dude, I can sing!
That he forgets what we're actually doing here.
So Daniel, why don't you tell us about your writing process?
We're not talking about that anymore.
Okay, it's fine. We'll cut it. Okay.
That's why we're doing a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. And you don't have to cover it. I can just edit this out.
I figured that why just write one book when you could inspire millions of people to write their own?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to hear? Don't piss me off like that again. You know that.
And now all the conversation is about this media empire and production company.
A successful podcast can lead to other opportunities. Case in point, my favorite podcaster, Tim Dillon, with all that success, he's now building an acting career.
Tim Dillon did this for years. It took him 200 episodes to actually start seeing some traction.
You gain success, you point all your attention at that success to get people to look at you so that you can go do the other thing.
We're not gonna see any audience numbers at episode 5.
And then with that success,
We're not gonna see any at episode 100.
you can use that to build a bridge to the other thing.
I think we need to just focus on one thing.
This is the game, leverage.
It has to be writing.
So we'll fund a book tour with that when we get to that point. But I gotta be patient with the book.
That's why anyone's gonna be watching this,
Once we build up that audience,
is to see someone accomplish his dream.
experiencing their energy,
Not go after 10 different dreams and fall short on every single one.
that's gonna inspire me. It's gonna propel me to write. And the book will basically just, ooze out of me at that point.
Sometimes I feel like, yeah, I just wanna say yes and just go for it, and sure, I'll order all the podcast equipment and we'll get the whole podcast set up. But then I get this whole thing set up, just like I got the poems all set up and I got a composer going for that, and then we're just left with nothing at the end of the day. Anything else? Look, it's all good, man. I know it sucks, but I can, reach out to more authors. We're early on in this process. We're gonna have ups and downs. If we're hitting a couple downs, that's fucking fine. It's gonna go back up again. We just need to stay on it. It's too early to be doing this,
I don't know what we're doing anymore. This is so stupid, man. I don't know if I can keep doing this.
I'm bleeding myself dry. I'm not sleeping. I'm now not just losing money, but I'm losing clients. So sure things are now becoming less sure. And I just don't know what I'm doing. We're making a podcast? What the fuck? I started this whole thing to write a book.
I just think we need to go back to the core. I don't want to quit on the podcast because we've done that with the poems and the TikToks and stuff. But let's just go back to Daniel's writing his first book. It's why I'm here.
I haven't written a fucking word.
And that's okay.
It's not okay.
We'll come back to the core,
Nothing about this is okay. This is mortally embarrassing. Joe is filming me right now. This is...
I get it, but as your producer and as your friend with this, we can't quit now. We cannot. We can acknowledge the suck here, but we just cannot give up. You would tell me the same thing. We'll shoot the portraits, but we'll go outside, we'll quickly shoot them and everything, and then we'll call it a night. How's that sound?
I think I just need to be alone right now.
You want to do the, we'll just bang out the portraits real quick? you know, and finish with those, and then we can figure
No,
out.
man, no. You guys just like the play gimmick. Like we're filming the doc. Like it's over. I need you guys to get out. I just need you guys to leave. Like stop filming. Go.
You serious?
Go. Stop filming.
All right. You good? All right. Night, bro.
Okay, we're good. Thank you for filming.